I see some white lights. Like white.
Okay, get out of here.
Oh my god, that is kind of dark and twisted. I like it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie, and today we are back with another dun mukbang. Woo! Today I'm really excited because we have we don't have 12 because we lost one in action. We have 11 juicy, delicious, steaming lobster tails in front of us. And I'm so excited. Okay, I'm just gonna get started. I can't even wait for you. Oh yeah, sure,
Thank
fine.
you so much.
After you almost knocked it over on the counter, he literally elbowed it down. I freaking Ninja Warrior caught this shit with one hand, and I just caught it. And he goes,
"Wow, did I accidentally hit you?"
and I go, "What do you mean? I literally saved our lives right now. What do you mean?" Which, by the way, if you guys see me do a lot of this, a lot of this, a lot of this, a lot of this, it's because I just got my nails done and I just want to get my money's worth. So let's get started. I'm sorry. Do you have a problem? Let's get started. These look so juicy.
Damn, these are big.
Wow, yeah, they're so big.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
Okay.
Wow.
Good.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So good. Okay, I'm gonna try dipping it.
This is good.
Holy cow. And also, if you guys are interested, the giveaway winners are posted in the description. I think it was a day late. Sorry. It was a day late because I didn't post yesterday. It's really good.
Wow.
So, oh my gosh, I can't even tell. It's so good. It's like perfectly cooked. It's not undercooked. It's not overcooked. Wow. Honestly, kind of want some kimchi on this side.
Yeah.
Thank you for the kimchi,
Do you want rice
sir.
or no?
Ooh.
Do you want ramen?
Ooh.
Do you want a nuclear noodle?
Ooh.
What else do you want? In-N-Out?
I mean, this is genuinely a whole ass meal. He's literally cutting a whole head of Napa cabbage kimchi right now. I just don't know where you're at, but I'm hoping that you guys have a whole ass meal too because we're ready to dig in. Today is another scary showdown, which you guys have been asking for before Spooktober ends, which I feel like on this channel, Spooktober never really ends, but we're just gonna get with it. So the first story that I have is very, very creepy. Okay, wait, what kind of stories do you have today? Bad ones? I'm just kidding.
Just weird ones.
Okay.
Like spirits. Nothing big. Nothing crazy. Why are you asking?
Just wondering. So today we're going to talk about a kid by the name of Jonah. What?
I know a Jonah. Okay.
You do? From the vlog squad? This kid by the name of Jonah, he's 7 years old. And now Jonah is not like all your other 7-year-old boys, right? Which when you're 7, what is it called? Is it the horrendous 7? Terrible 2s? Something with 7 is usually not good, is what I heard, right?
Oh,
When
yeah?
they're 7, they go through a very weird phase where they're just not that cute. They're also kind of like annoying, and it's just like every parent talks about it. I'm not saying like one kid or the other, but it's like commonly known that usually there's like the terrible 2s when they're teething and they have like they're developing a lot of things, and so you have to deal with all of that. And then I believe it's like 7 or 8 or one of those, which is like another bad year where they're developing like behavioral problems usually, and then you have to nip them in the butt. And then teenagers is a whole other thing. Let me know in the comments, right, if that rings true. I know a lot of people, like my family friends, say it's true. So Jonah was going through it, but he wasn't going through it like any other kid because he had already been horrible. He had already been horrendous for all 7 years of his life. So what was different about this year? Well, this year he decided that he was gonna kick it up a notch. Now, Jonah is your typical nightmare kid that everybody hates.
Damn.
Sorry.
What did that 7-year-old do to anyone? Everybody hates Jonah, huh? Okay.
That sounds like a movie title.
What?
Everybody hates Jonah. And it's like a coming-of-age rom-com of high schoolers. Now, there were the typical reasons why people hated Jonah. He's a kid that would start cursing when he was younger.
Okay.
He picked it up from school. He would bring it home. He would be playing video games. His parents would say, "Hey, Jonah, let's have dinner. Don't play the video games." And he'd be the one that's like, "Shut the F up, Mom." But actually say the words and stuff, right? what am I, 7, right? Like, shut the fuck up, mom, right? He would say all these things. And then on top of that, he was just so horrendous to his younger sister by the name of Amy. Now, Amy was very, very timid, and she had a lot of just traumatic experiences in life, all caused by who? By her big brother, Jonah. And that's why a lot of people didn't like Jonah. It wasn't because he was just a little annoying kid that was obnoxious. It was because he was truly evil at heart. So he would do this thing to Amy where he would convince her that somebody murdered mommy and would put blood all over the kitchen, and it was actually ketchup. And this young girl, 4 at the time, and she would be so traumatized. She would cry, she would run away, she'd be so scared that someone's hiding under her bed. And so ever since then, ever since he was relentless with picking on her and just making sure that she was miserable, she started to get really, really anxious all the time. And she is a very young kid. Like, she says she hears voices all the time in the house. She thinks the house is haunted, and it's mainly just Jonah being a dick.
Okay. But, I mean, 7 is kind of young, call someone a dick, don't you think? You know? Mm-hmm. He needs time to develop.
Honey, you know Jonah ain't real, right? Why are you acting like Jonah's your kid?
No, I'm just saying. You think there are evil kids?
Yes.
Like super young? You think there are evil kids?
Yeah.
So you got bullied young, huh?
Yeah. You don't think so?
Evil kid?
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments.
Anyways.
Interesting.
Jonah.
Yeah.
Little dick.
Honey, he's 7, okay? Jonah at this point, one night, he was sleeping in bed and he just couldn't fall asleep. He was just like up all night and he's like, I want to play video games, but my parents took away my controller. I hate them. And he's like plotting some annoying shit to do to his parents because they wouldn't let him play video games. And it starts thundering and it starts lightning striking and it's a very stormy night.
Okay.
And so he's like, ugh, this is such a shitty night. And then all of a sudden, he hears crying in the other room. And it sounds like his younger sister, Amy, right? And so he listens to the crying, and then all of a sudden, he hears rapid footsteps.
Oh my god, I love my nails.
Sorry. He hears rapid footsteps. And then all of a sudden, he hears a door open, right? And then he hears,
Mommy, I'm scared.
and so he knows that young little Amy had run over to Mommy's bedroom to cuddle her because she's so scared of the lightning. She had woken up in the middle of the night. And so Jonah goes, go figure. She's always climbing next to Mommy, being Mommy this, Mommy that. I hate her. She's so annoying. And then he goes, you know what? Today's the day. Today's the day that I kick it up a notch. Today's the day where I really traumatize her. I want to ruin my little sister. And so he says, I'm going to go into her room that she's not in anymore.
Okay, he walks exactly the same.
I'm going to go into her room. I'm going to hide in her closet. I'm going to leave open the door a little peek. And because Amy has always talked about how she always hears things in her bedroom, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to look at her and I'm going to whisper,
Amy, Amy, why don't you come out to play? Amy.
Honey, you're too into this character.
sorry. Sorry. It's called character development. He was planning this whole thing, right? And so he walks on over to Amy's room, hides in the freaking closet, and he's waiting. And he's waiting. And he's waiting. And Amy doesn't come back. And he goes, oh, this sucks, dude. I've been waiting in this closet. I could be in bed right now. Just as he's about to open the door to leave this stupid closet and go back to his room, he hears footsteps. But this time, 2 footsteps. And the mom says, good night, Amy, it's gonna be okay. And he sees the mom tuck Amy in, give her a kiss on the forehead, and Amy goes, you promise there's no monsters in my room? And the mom goes, no, sweetie, of course not. Puts another kiss on her forehead, walks out, and closes the door, and leaves. And then you just see Amy, she's laying there looking around, and then she goes, okay. And then she starts to fall asleep. Now this is when Jonah decides he's gonna start going, Amy, Amy, why don't you come out to play? I'm in the closet. And she goes,
Not tonight.
and he goes, what? What do you mean not tonight? And he goes, why? Is she asleep? Is she sleep talking? Is she literally dreaming about hanging out with some friends and saying, I can't hang out tonight, guys? So he's like, Amy, wake up. Amy, wake up. Come out to play. And then she goes,
I said not tonight, Lucy.
and he goes, Amy, it's Jonah. Who's Lucy? And then all of a sudden, feels someone grab his mouth and whisper in his ear.
She said not tonight.
You didn't like it? I thought it was so good. The one-woman show. Wow, Stephanie was able to really embody Amy, Lucy, and Jonah all in one scene. Someone give her a gold statue. No, you don't like. Okay. Okay, let's see what you have. Me being highly. What did you think of the story?
Sorry. I think it was a really good story.
Yeah.
But I don't know, somewhere in the middle of the story,
Yeah.
I already thought of this ending. For some reason.
How?
I was like, it would be much creepier if he goes in there just when he was about to scare her, another closet door opens and then a shadow comes out or something like that.
Damn it!
So that's what I was thinking. Yeah. But it was good though. A for acting.
Okay, your turn. Show me what you got.
My story is very short, okay?
Okay, it's like one sentence.
Yeah, I
No. Okay.
So this boy recently, so Jonah.
No.
You don't like Jonah?
No, I like Jonah.
So Jonah grew up a little more, right? A teenager. And
Okay, this
He-
one tastes weird. I'm so sorry.
not fresh. Alright, so Jonah, now Jonah's a teenager, right?
Okay.
You know, he turned out becoming a very nice boy.
Okay.
He was a little dick, but now he's all grown up. He has developed a very close relationship with his mom.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a tragedy happened. The mom passed away. And now Jonah misses the mom very much. It's been a couple months and he still wakes up at night thinking about the mother, right? And ever since the mom passed, he has always felt like the mom's looking after him. You know, it's just this weird feeling he has. He's like, oh, maybe I just miss my mom too much. And slowly he starts to feel the mom is standing in the corner of his room looking at him.
Okay.
So imagine on that right over there,
Fuck you.
looking at him. So he just constantly have this feeling, but he doesn't know what to do. Do I just say hello?
Hello, Mom, if you see me, blow the candle off.
He actually tried all of those things. Nothing really shows any signs. And one day, again, he woke up in the middle of the night and thinking about the mom. And he feels like the mom is standing there looking at him. And he was just looking around the room.
Honey, don't do it.
And he saw his mom's phone laying on the table. Her old phone. All of a sudden, he thought of something. He picked up the mother's phone.
Yeah.
He bring the phone
No,
over,
no.
and then did this to the corner.
And it unlocked.
And the phone unlocked. And that's the iPhone 11 ad.
I just don't like stuff like this.
Why?
I don't like when you mix ghosts with technology.
Okay.
Because now, anytime like my phone is anywhere, I'm gonna be like, bitch, better not unlock when my face not in front of it.
Yeah.
Because what if it's like facing
Exactly.
the wall and it unlocks and I'm not in front of it?
Turn off the light and put your phone like a scan.
Honey,
but-
stop. Fine,
See?
maybe it's scarier than Amy. Okay, my story is another story about young Amy.
Okay.
But this is how her life really was. So Amy said, you know, everything in life is going well.
Yeah.
My brother is not being mean to me anymore.
Yeah.
He went off to college and he's doing well. And there's just one thing that bothers me in life. And
Yeah.
it's the smallest thing. And for some reason, I just can't seem to get over it. And it's
Yeah.
the fact that I am scared of my dad. My dad is probably the scariest person you will ever meet.
Okay.
He's very, very angry. He's very, very scary. Sometimes he hits me, sometimes he hits my mom, sometimes he hits the dog, and sometimes he hits all of us, especially when he drinks his beer and vodka. I'm so scared of Daddy, but at the same time, he's so kind to me. He's always so nice to me. So it's very confusing.
How
and
old
so
is Amy now?
you ask a lot of goddamn questions.
Is she older now? She's older? A little bit older?
No, like 5.
Oh, she's still young. Okay.
Yeah, this is a really weird like time lapse where Jonah
problem.
is just growing old and she's not.
Oh, parallel universe. Got it.
And so she's like, what can I do, right? I'm so sick and tired of hearing my mom cry in the next room. I'm so sick and tired of being scared anytime Dad comes home, right? So she goes, I know he loves us and I love him. But maybe he just doesn't see how much he's hurting us. Maybe he just doesn't see how scared we are of him. So she said, in order for him to understand our feelings of being scared of someone we love, we have to scare him. right? We have to scare him. And she goes, that's a genius idea. And so she decides
She's talking
one day.
to herself?
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, Amy's just like me. And so she decides one day that I'm going to stand behind the front door and he's going to come home from work and I'm going to go, boo! And he's going to be so scared of the person he loves that he's going to be like, wow, whew, Amy, now I'm never going to drink again, Amy. Right? And she goes, this is an amazing plan. And she does it. He doesn't even flinch. She goes, what are you doing? Right? And kind of shoves her to the side. And she goes, damn it, that didn't work. I have to do something more. So she goes to school and she asks all of her friends, hey, what's something scary that you guys can do to like scare your parents? What's something scary? And her little classmate gives her a little fake toy plastic snake. And then she goes, I put this in the toilet once and my mom screamed and almost cried. And so then she goes, that's perfect. I just want to scare my dad. And so she grabs the toy snake and she rushes home and she rushes to the bathroom that he uses, puts the toy snake in there and goes, this is a good one. She closes the lid and she goes and hides in her room waiting for him to use the bathroom. He comes home, slams the door shut, opens the fridge. You hear the can of beer opening and then he goes and goes to use the restroom. And he opens the lid and he starts screaming. And he goes,
Who put this in here?
and Amy goes, oh no, right? And so he comes into her room and smacks her.
It says, don't ever put things in the toilet ever again.
And she goes, damn it. She didn't say that. She's too young to say that. She goes, darn it. It didn't work, right? So she goes, okay, what else can I do? And so she's watching TV one day, right? And she's watching this, like, you know, just those commercial TV shows. What do you call them? Like the network shows of like relationship
Who's
talks.
watching? She is?
Yeah, the TV's just on and she's listening. And someone says, you know, in order for someone to be very, like, feel fear, you have to take away something they love. That's how human nature feels fear.
On TV?
Yes.
Oh,
And so then
okay.
she goes, wait a second. That is so true.
okay.
If I take away something he loves,
Yes.
he'll be so scared that he'll never do it again. And so that day, before her dad comes home, she goes to the fridge and she opens every can of beer and pours it down the sink.
Gulp, 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 gulp.
Throws it all down the sink. And she goes, this is going to work this time. She lines up all the empty bottles and she goes and she hides into her room, right? And this is when she said, guys, I'm here to tell you guys that advice from the TV, it works. Dad came home, he went to the kitchen, he saw all the empty bottles, and he started screaming. He was so scared, he starts screaming, right? And he screams, who did this? Who did this? No, why would you do this? Why would you do this? And he starts screaming at everyone. And he starts screaming at me, and he starts coming, and he starts shaking me. Why did you do it? And then I woke up, and everything was different. He was so scared all the time, and he was not drinking anymore. It worked. It literally worked. I scared him so badly, he has never taken a sip since that night. Ever again. And anytime I talk to him, he's even more scared. It's almost as if he sees a ghost.
He killed a daughter? And then he stopped drinking.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Kind of sad.
It's like one of those scary but so sad and relatable if you have someone who is addicted, right?
Okay, so this one's gonna go back to the other parallel universe, okay?
With Jonah?
In this universe, Amy grew up. That makes sense? You following? Okay. So Amy grew up. Now Amy is in college. This is the first year. She's moving into a dorm room by herself. It's a small room. There's not much in there. There's a bed, there's a table. So she moved in really excited. First day, she's putting all her belongings. One of the first things she did is she's putting on this flyer of a celebrity that she loves on the back of the door. Imagine you're sitting facing this way. This is the table. Bed is on this side, right here. And behind you is the door to get in. She put a flyer right behind you on the door. That's her mom's favorite celebrity as well. And the mom just recently passed, remember?
Oh, yeah.
As she's focusing doing her work, all of a sudden, she starts hearing a noise. The noise sounds like you're peeling a sticker off something very, very lightly. She wasn't sure what she's hearing coming from the back. So she turned around. She sees nothing. So she get back to work. A few minutes later, there's a noise coming. Something is peeling. It sounds really alarming, right? She turned around. There's nothing. And the third time it happened, she turned around. She noticed something. The poster bottom corner is slightly lifted. noticed that and she started thinking,
That is weird. If this poster was not stick correctly, if it's gonna fall down, usually it's from the top. But now it's peeling from the corner. That is really weird. Now the corner is lifted.
as she's looking at it, staring at it, then you see that corners that start going up. It almost looked like there's someone grabbing the poster and pulling it up. She freaked out, opened the door and ran outside. Kept running and running and running. She called her families, her friends. She started calling everyone. And everybody's like, you're crazy. There's no way. A lot of people start giving her very scientific explanations. They say sometimes if you roll your poster into a roll and then you stick onto the wall.
Oh, it's like a yoga mat. Yeah.
Yeah, yoga mat. Sometimes it just kind of
Yeah.
flips up. And she said, I can tell the difference between something naturally unstick from the wall to someone peeling it.
I'm getting anxiety. Okay.
And then eventually she called her grandma. And the grandma said, it's the spirit of your mother looking at you through the woman in the poster. So to stop that, I need you to grab a needle, heat it up on fire, and poke those eyes. And I want you to do that to every poster that you have. And that's what she did for the rest of her life. This actually happened to someone.
Can I be honest with you?
What?
You gotta stop waking me up and scaring me in the mornings because now I have, my heart is beating. This never really happens in scary showdowns. That was really stressful. I have one last one for you guys, okay? And this one is very creepy because I feel like it's so, today's story is just a mix of just could have happened to anybody, right? And it's centered around a girl and her best friend, right?
Amy?
So Amy grows up, and at this point, she's in her 20s now, right? And during this time, she developed a best friend who had helped her through everything, literally everything in life. The bullying of her brother, the death of her mother, all of these things. Her death. She has this one best friend that has helped her with everything, and let's call him John, right? And John has just been there for her. Now, here's the very interesting thing about John. John is deaf, and John has been deaf since the day that he was born. He's been deaf. He can't hear anything. He's never heard a sound in his life.
Okay.
But that didn't stop him from making a beautiful connection with multiple people, many friends. He had so many friends in his life. He even had a longtime girlfriend that he wanted to propose to, right? And so he decides, hey, my doctor says it's time. He says, I am actually ready. I'm actually available and okay. I'm ready to get the okay to, I think it's cochlear implants, right? Which helps deaf people hear again for the first time, right? It's a very intense procedure. And he says, it's been so long since the day that I was born, and I really want to do this, right? And everyone around in his life was like, you know what? We're going to support you, John. Amy was like, I'm going to be there for you during your recovery. His girlfriend was like, I'm going to hold your hand. We live together. I'm going to make sure everything is taken care of. All of his friends are just an amazing support group. And he says, wow, I'm just so excited, right? He goes into surgery. He comes out. And the day that it's supposed to be, I believe after you have surgery, there's a couple period where you still can't hear anything. And then it's activation day where they turn it on and you hear things for the first time. And a lot of the times what they want to do is, it's so sweet, right? Is they want to get the people that you love in the room with you, and they go around and they say their names so that you can put a voice to the names, and it's a very emotional experience.
I think I've seen some videos on YouTube. So emotional.
And so he's laying in the hospital bed and everyone's standing around him, all of his friends, and he sees all of them, right? And so then he says, okay. And the doctor says, we're ready. And so then his girlfriend goes, hi, John. And this is the first time he hears her voice, and he just starts bawling. It's so emotional, and he's just so emotional, and he starts just crying and crying and crying, right? And then Amy goes, hi, John, it's Amy, right? And he starts crying some more, and then each one by one by one, his friends go through the room, and they say their name, and he gets more and more emotional. And after everybody else is so just emotional too, imagine how emotional that is for the friends. They all stand around, and they're all crying, like happy tears, and he's crying, right? And no one really felt the need to fill the silence because it's just such a beautiful moment. And then all of a sudden he goes, wait, what's that noise, right? And so they go, huh? And then Amy goes, oh, I guess, you don't really know. It's almost like asking, a blind person, what do you see? Do you see black? Do you see nothing, So then she goes, maybe he doesn't know, right? And she goes, silence. is that silence?
Who said
Silence? Amy.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, maybe it's the machine, but I think it's just silent in here, right? Maybe it's silence. And he goes, no, I've been hearing silence all my life. This is not what it sounds like, right? And she goes, oh. And everyone just kind of looks around like, what do we say? You know, that's what we consider silence. How can we even communicate to him? Oh, no, this is silence. This is what we describe as silence. And then all of a sudden he goes, that's silence. Do you hear that? That's silence. He goes, do you hear that sound? That's silence. That's silence. And everyone looks at each other and they all look so distraught and they look like they don't know what to say. And Amy goes, no, John, that's a girl screaming.
Whoa, what? So he's been hearing screaming
In his head for his entire life.
Oh my god, that is kind of dark and twisted. I like it.
Whoa, I don't like this. I don't like your turn of events right now.
So there was a girl probably in the hospital screaming.
Yeah.
He said, whoa, silence.
Yeah.
That is so weird. Begs the question, what do you truly hear?
Yeah.
Or what do you really see
So,
when you can see?
There was a woman who went, I believe she did a Reddit AMA, and I don't know if she was blind before and got her eyesight or the vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But she was trying to explain to people, because she's had both sides of the spectrum, whereas it'd be kind of difficult for someone who's never seen anything to describe what they see, right? And so she said the way that she would best describe it is not if you have your eyes closed, because then you just kind of have like, that's what a lot of people think. That's what it feels like to have your eyes closed. But it's almost like close your eyes and then roll your eyes. Like roll your eyes like back. Yeah. She says it's more like that.
Like constantly moving or
no? No, not moving, but that's like the kind of feeling you feel. No, not the feeling, but it's kind of like what you see. Like it's not that you see your eyelid. It's not that you see blackness. It's just that it's not really there. Does that make sense? Okay, you look very interesting doing that. Yeah, but it's like, it's because when you close your eyes,
I see some white lights. Like white
Okay, get out
flashes.
of here.
No, seriously. I mean,
Because you were going like this. She's a white flashing light.
Okay, I get it. I understood.
Yeah.
So she said that's the feeling you
Yeah.
get.
No, not the feeling of like rolling your eyes, but it's not like necessarily you're just closing your eyes and that's what. I just thought it was interesting because I always imagined it to be like, oh, you just close your eyes, and I guess that's kind of what they feel like, right? Let me know in the comments who won this scary showdown.
I think I did.
What?
I'll take this one.
What do you mean? You can't just like take it and leave. Like,
I'll just take it. Thank you very much.
no, that's not. Leave it in the comments. Who takes the gold cup? That's what we'll call it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.